Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Yesterday, Creative Assembly released a clip which is playing on screen right now. Many have taken this as a hint of things to come, possibly referring to the eventual release of Total War Warhammer 3. I myself believe that this is also a possibility, however, we seem to be going ahead of ourselves. This video is not going to focus around Warhammer 3, but instead the next DLC for Total War Warhammer 2. Not long after the release of The Twisted and the Twilight, it was confirmed by a member of Creative Assembly's staff. This, I believe, was on the Total War Reddit and then eventually on the Twitter page, that there will be one more DLC for Total War Warhammer 2. Of course, we have already speculated heavily about the next DLC heavily on the channel already, where we've discussed as a community that it could possibly be either a Dark Elf vs Beastmen DLC or Dark Elf vs Vampire counts. Yes, the next DLC races haven't been confirmed as of yet, but the general thought is because Creative Assembly once stated that they'd like to see all base game races from Warhammer 2 having at least 6 legendary lords, with the Dark Elves themselves currently only having 5 and every other race having 6. Taking the possible races aside, it hasn't been confirmed as to what races will be part of the next DLC. However, it is possible that we will hear news regarding this next DLC in about a month or two. This is mainly because the DLCs for Total War Warhammer 2 specifically have been around 3 to 5 months apart on average. We're closing in to the end of the second month since The Twisted and the Twilight was released, and since we've had no news as of yet, and of course it looks like Creative Assembly are teasing Warhammer 3, it can be expected that we won't see it till a month or two after, as I stated before. I hope everything makes sense so far, and you guys are more or less agreeing as to when we might see an announcement for the next DLC. But this now opens up a bunch of other questions. If Creative Assembly are indeed teasing Warhammer 3 already, does that mean that the next DLC for Total War Warhammer 2 will be the last? Simply put, if we check out the usual method that Creative Assembly go by, teasers for a new game or product will arrive a lengthy time before the announcement, usually around 2 weeks or so if I'm correct. After which there's a bit of a lull period where we will eventually start seeing news dropping from both Creative Assembly and of course any associated content creators. That already sounds very standard to what we're all already used to, and is indeed very similar to how the DLC drops work if memory serves. Of course, we've just recently had one, and it's very similar to what we're expecting. Though, again, we need to look at main titles, former ones that have recently been released or otherwise. If we look towards a Total War Saga Troy, there was a period where it was announced, there was a lull, then there was posts about a battle that YouTubers did and so on, and then there was a lull again, before content started dropping in a much more steadier pace. I believe there were also similar cases for Warhammer 1 to Warhammer 2 and Total War 3 Kingdoms. All of these are main titles, so it's likely that if this teaser is in reference to Total War Warhammer 3, it may follow more or less a similar format. Of course, this makes sense. So if that's the case, then there is a lull where a DLC can be shown. This is going more into the reference of Norska. So for proper reference, Total War Warhammer 2 was announced on March of 2017, and then was released in September of 2017. With Norska, the pre-order incentive DLC for Warhammer 2 being announced in July 2017 and released on August 2017. Yes, there's a lot of dates here, but believe me, I'm coming on to something. If this format has been used for Warhammer 1 to Warhammer 2, it's safe to assume that we might see a similar format for Warhammer 2 to Warhammer 3. meaning that the next DLC coming is the last. Of course, again, this is pure speculation. However, then that raises the question, is this a faction versus faction DLC, Dark Elves versus someone else potentially, or is it going to be a race pack? We do have confirmation on Reddit by Grace from CA stating that there are only Lord packs remaining for Warhammer 2, and I don't know what to say about this. If this DLC is going to work as a pre-order incentive, I was expecting something a little bit bigger, but if it is just a Lord pack, then potentially it could be some big name characters. Or say for example, it could be a rather large rework, possibly the Beastmen who are in desperate need of one. Dark Elves versus Beastmen could make a lot of sense thematically, and the Dark Elves don't really need that many things, so the majority of the focus could be shifted towards a Beastmen rework and the Beastmen side of the DLC. Again, this is pure speculation, but it could be possible. Why not end Warhammer 2's lifespan with a big bang, which would be by fixing arguably the worst race in the Total War Warhammer series? Especially if the Beastmen still stay as a Horde faction, there's nothing to state that they won't, then this would also see a rework of the Horde mechanic, which could then be used for the Warriors of Chaos. I mean, Creative Assembly could completely blindside us and do a rework of the Warriors of Chaos instead, but I think that the Beastmen desperately need it more, and it makes more sense to rework the Warriors of Chaos when we finally have access to demons, as we are missing demon princes and so on. I'm just spitballing here, but from what I gather, the next DLC for Warhammer 2 could possibly be the last, and could very much be a pre-order incentive for the third and final game. Other than that, unless Creative Assembly have changed their stance, it's very much looking to be a Lord pack and not a race pack. But with all that being said, what do you guys think about all this? Honestly, I'm just trying to theory craft a little bit, as I'm thinking about the next DLC. Yes, I know a lot of people are theory crafting about the third game at the moment, and don't worry, we'll start speculating soon enough, but I just kinda wanna look towards what potentially could be the last DLC. Let me know what you think is gonna happen in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.